Okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wal aqibatu lil muttaqeen. Wa la udwana illa ala adh-dhalimin. Wa ashhadu an la ilaha illallah ilahul awwalin wal akhirin. Wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu alayhi afdalus salatu wa tammat taslim. My respected brothers and sisters in Islam, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam once saw a procession of people passing by as a grave, as the body of one of the people were being taken towards a grave. And at that point, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, this authentic hadith in Bukhari, he said, "Imma mustarihin aw mustarahan minhu." He said what? Let me repeat that again. "Imma mustarihin aw mustarahan minhu." What does that mean? Mustarihin meaning that it is perhaps someone who will rest, or mustarahan minhu, or someone who people will rest from him. So it is either someone who is now going from this life that was a prison for him, and he was a believer, and now he will go to his rest, true rest. So he's going to rest, so he's the mustarihin. Or mustarahan minhu, or it is someone who has caused so much evil and mischief on this earth, and so much sins and transgression that people will now, and creation and the heavens and the earth will now rest from his mischief. And he is going back to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prepared for him. And truly, once, and at another time as well, another procession was going past Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, again in Bukhari again. And so people started saying bad things about that person. And at that point, when they were saying bad things, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Wajabat," it has become compulsory. And another procession passed by, and the Rasulullah and the people started saying good things about the man. And at that point, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Wajabat," again, meaning it has become compulsory. So the people said, "Ya Rasulullah, the first procession passed, you said wajabat. Second procession, you also said wajabat. What do you mean by it has become compulsory?" So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam explained, and he said, the first procession passed by, and you said bad things about the person. So Jahannam has become obligatory on him. He must enter and will enter, surely enter Jahannam. And the second procession passed by, and you said good things about him. So it has become obligatory, meaning Jannah has become obligatory for him. So how will you pass by? How will you pass away? And what will people say after you? Will they say good things about you, how much good you did? Or will they say about how much bad you did? Rectify your affairs with people, because truly if they speak bad about you, Jahannam will be obligatory for you. And if they say good things about you, truly Jannah will become obligatory for you. So rectify your affairs before your grave. My friends, the first night in the grave is truly the most important night that we will ever have to have. Why? Because truly this is our hereafter. Because you might be thinking, okay, hereafter we're waiting for the blowing of the horn. Once a group of people came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in the authentic hadith in Muslim, and said, "Ya Rasulullah, mata as-sa'a?" Ya Rasulullah, when is the hour? At that point, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "The youngest amongst you will not grow old except that your hereafter will have started already." The youngest amongst you will not grow old except that your hereafter, meaning you would have passed away by then. So your hereafter, as far as you're concerned, don't have to wait for the last hour. Your hereafter will have started already. Because your hereafter is with your death. Do not await the blowing of the horn, it's with your death. As soon as you die, your hereafter will have started already. And once the Prophet ﷺ, as in an authentic hadith again in Bukhari, and this is all reported in the Kitab al-Janaiz of al-Bukhari, the chapter of funeral processions and prayers. In that chapter, Rasulullah ﷺ, he came out of his hut, and he was crying so much that his eyes had become red. And he came to the people, and he said, "Lawla Allah tadafanu." Were it be that you would never bury your dead, la da'awtu Allah liyusmi'akum min adhab al-qabr alladhi asma'. I would have asked Allah to let you hear of the punishment of the grave from what I hear. On that day, as Fathul Bari Ibn Hajar rahimahullah mentions, in this verse, he's saying that on that day, people will be punished so much so that Rasulullah could hear they scream so much that he could not sleep all that night. And he was crying all that night. And as a result, he came out and this is what he said. Ya salam. It is for this reason why a lot of the animals, for example, are the ones who can hear the screams of the people who are being punished. And yet we humans do not hear that scream. In another authentic hadith in Musnad Imam Ahmed, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was passing by a grave and he was on his horse. And as he was passing by the grave, the horse started to jump up and down and started to throw Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam off its back. And at that point, Rasulullah understood and knew that grave was one of the people that he knew. And he started to cry, and at that point he told his companion, said, Ya ikhwani, oh my friends, لِمِثْلِ هَذَا فَأَعِدُّ. For the example of this, prepare yourself. For the example of this, prepare yourself. Do not be in a delusion, people will be punished in the graves. Do not be in a delusion, people can be punished and they will be punished. And we find numerous authentic ahadith of Rasulullah pointing to that. In fact, in the Quran itself is an indication that people will be punished in the grave. As we find in Surah Ghafir, in verse number 45 to 46, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in that Quran, وَحَاقَ بِآلِ فِرْعَوْنَ سُوءَ الْعَذَابِ. And indeed, the terrible punishment has already started for the people of Pharaoh, meaning the army of Pharaoh, the family of Pharaoh that disbelieved along with Pharaoh, with Pharaoh. النَّارُ يُعْرَضُونَ عَلَيْهَا غُدُوًّا وَعَشِيًّا. Verily the fire is being lit upon them in the morning and at night. وَيَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ. And on the day of judgment, أَدْخِلُوا آلَ فِرْعَوْنَ أَشَدَّ الْعَذَابِ. Allah will order the angels, enter the people of Pharaoh into the terrible torment. What is being talked about here? What is the fire that was being referred to before the adhab of the Jahannam on the day of judgment? Obviously it must be the adhab of the barzakh, punishment of the grave. But they never died in the grave. Where did they die? They were crushed by the water, wasn't it? They were drowned in the sea. So it does not matter wherever you are. Whether you are in the grave, or you have been eaten by an animal, or you have been burnt and you're in ashes, or you have been lost and no one knows where you are, you cannot escape Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And even though they were drowned by the water, Allah mentions they are being punished by the fire. So adhab of the barzakh, the punishment of the grave is the punishment of the barzakh. And the barzakh is the status between this life and the hereafter. And this status, a person can be punished and they will be according to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wishes. In the grave, my friends, sometimes we think that, okay, inshallah, we're not going to have so much fitna. But look at the description of the people, of the angels that will come to us and ask us questions in the grave. The hadith in Sunan Tirmidhi mentioned that the two angels that will come, first of all, the hadith that mentions that their names are Munkar and Nakir are not authentic. The hadith that mentions the names of Munkar and Nakir are not authentic. So the names are not Munkar and Nakir. Also, Munkar is a filthy name. It means evil. And Nakir also means something that you stay away from and it's repulsive. So the ulama mentioned that in reality, angels are not repulsive and they don't have evil names. And as a result, in reality, the names are not authentic. However, the two angels that will come, that is definitely true. And the hadith mentioned that their voices are like thunder. And they're completely black, and their eyes are like lightning, and in one hadith, either the eyes are blue, or in another hadith, their eyes are red. And when they blink their eyes, it's lightning. And the voice is like thunder. And the complexion is completely black, pitch dark. And these are the two angels that will come and question you. How severe is the test going to be in the grave? Well, listen to this. Do you remember the test of the Dajjal? What is the test of the Dajjal?